Hey, hey,
Welcome back,
hey.
everyone, to Coffee Time with Crypto. So, uh,
Yeah,
what's going on in the market?
nothing, to be honest. I'm sure there's a lot going on. Like every day there's like node projects and all that passive income stuff. Like I think even some DAOs are trying to make a comeback. But honestly, in this weather, like the market and everything, it just doesn't feel like it's the time for any degen plays.
Hmm.
The risk to reward doesn't seem to be there. We're no longer like, oh, it's not like at least half a year ago where everything was like, oh, buy and it'll just go shoot up and you'll be happy. Like it doesn't seem like it's the right time. What about you though?
Well, last week I almost thought that we were heading into like a breakout because a lot of the,
Oh
the
yeah.
a lot of the blue chip DeFi projects that I follow, like some of the original ones,
Hmm.
like Aave, Maker, um, a lot of those came up quite significantly from where they were. And I think at
Hmm.
least like Ethereum's probably still holding its value. Bitcoin's
Oh, Ethereum
came
was
up a
doing very
bit,
well.
yeah. But then suddenly, I think after Bitcoin Miami, things
Yeah.
kind of like settled down
Yeah, I
again.
wonder because I didn't look at any clips or anything about it, but it seemed like it's some kind of convention, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't either. I like just
Yeah.
followed a couple of channels myself, and they were talking about it.
Yeah,
I
because
haven't really caught up yet. I've been quite busy this past week. That's why we haven't really I haven't really gotten around to uploading any more videos.
Yeah, because when I saw Bitcoin Miami, I was like, "Oh, cool, a convention. Come on. This whole thing is gonna go up now." And I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute. It's not doing much."
I think there's just a lot of global headwinds,
Yeah.
and we've kind of had this bear market. I think we can call it a bear market by now.
Hmm.
Um, and then I guess we went all the way down to close to like 32K around BTC before we got a bounce. But I think a lot
Hmm.
of like once it got to that point, a lot of value investors came in, and we're kind of like just
Yeah.
bouncing up and down um, between like the traders who are trying to trade the range and the value investors who want to like pick it up whenever it goes down under 40K. Like that's kind of where I think things are.
Yeah.
Um,
Buy the dip, right?
well, not financial advice. We'll just give our financial disclaimer. We're
Yep.
we're neither Degen Ben or I are financial professionals. We're not here to give you any advice whatsoever. This is just
Yeah.
purely entertainment,
Don't
and
take financial advice
it might
from
not
me.
even be entertainment, to be honest. But hopefully you guys will learn something. Yeah, okay. So let's get right into what we wanted to talk about today.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
like
So,
I always want to find a topic that DJ Bemen's interested in, because like
okay.
otherwise
So,
I feel like the videos that we make that are like really lectury, I everyone's falling asleep, and I see you,
yeah.
you're like falling asleep. So
So, like, just because everything's not doing so well, there isn't really a degen play that I want to like go into. Lately, I'm starting to look at NFTs. Um,
that's awesome. I mean, I like I think you said that the Tavern NFT was your like your first NFT, but I don't know if that
yeah,
really counts as an N.
I don't think it really counts, but I think it's one step towards the evolution of NFTs because NFTs was primarily for artwork, right? Up until I saw Tavern, so they're linking some kind of utility to it, or like some kind of Ponzi scheme into it. And then for me, I'm just like, oh, maybe it's time to start looking into like what else NFTs because they can be anything, right? I've been hearing that there's NFT music. People might start selling concert tickets as NFTs or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, that's sort of something to look into. And it seems like, oh, maybe the next thing could be NFTs, not just the artwork.
Well, NFTs are like really hot in Hong Kong, and that's like a place where we have a lot of connection to, and a lot of our friends are really
And I'm
into
curious,
NFTs.
I'm curious. I'm like, do you know why though? Like, why are the people in Asia so hot about NFTs?
Like I think that in North America with our tax system, it's really tricky to get into NFTs because
Mm,
sometimes it's like more hassle than it's worth.
yeah,
So then I think like when you're in Hong Kong where there's like no capital gains and it's just like a really friendly environment towards
yeah.
crypto. Like you can think back to when there were a bunch of ICOs. Hong Kong was also the place where um, it was
Mm,
very friendly towards ICOs, and the same thing with NFTs. I actually think that the NFT craze happened over here first,
hmm.
and then they started.
It caught
Uh,
on, right?
yeah, because a lot of their artists, I think, really like jumped on the bandwagon, and
Oh
everyone was
yeah,
just
like
like,
there was finally a lucrative path for them, right?
yeah, and plus, like I think Hong Kong people just the like to speculate.
What I found out about Hong Kong is they seem to love collecting stuff. Like the whole idea of collecting something somehow just really appeals to them.
Yeah, I know, I think so. I think so. Um, so apart from the tavern, like when was the first time you actually heard about NFTs?
Oh, it was the NBA NFTs.
NBA Top Shots.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bought
Oh,
some of those and then I kind of lost interest.
wait, did you say you bought some?
I bought some like those packs that come out. You buy them and then you don't know what you're gonna get, right?
Wait, so
And
so
then
these are NFTs. So you was this before or after the tavern
this
thing?
was before Tavern,
So you did
before
have
Tavern.
NFTs.
Apparently so, but not NFT in the sense of what NFTs were. Back then, it was only like, if for me back then, I thought NFTs were just like the artwork, right? It has to be artwork. For me, I was just buying a moment in the NBA. I didn't really know it was called NFTs at that time. For me, it was just like, oh, this is cool. It's like collecting
Hmm.
basketball cards, but no, now I'm collecting this moment in
So cool.
NBA.
Did you make any money with that? Like,
Oh
I think
no, no,
they
no, 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 no.
didn't they do
Like
really well?
at some point, I think they did really well, but because I bought packs, so you had to open them, and then you just were randomly given some moments. I never got anything worthwhile. And then
Mm.
at first, they started at like 20 bucks or 50 bucks, and then if you wanted like the rare moment exclusive pack, maybe it was 100 bucks. But then somehow, because of all the craze, it went up to like $300 or 400. And the pack doesn't guarantee if there's like anything worthwhile inside. So I was like, oh man, this is getting ridiculous, right? It's just NBA trying to take your money at that point. So I
Oh,
just lost interest.
interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch us
Hmm.
over to my browser.
Yep,
So
exactly
so
it.
you went here and you just bought these? Oh wow, cool. Okay, so yeah,
So you
you
see,
can
like
get like them for $10.
there's packs, and then you have to like log on at a certain time to be in queue, and then you're randomly given a spot, and basically based on that spot, we wait for your turn to purchase.
So you know what? Like when these first came out, I think there were like maybe only a couple rare ones, and I saw them
Yeah,
for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's why I thought
yeah.
maybe like they were like super rare collectibles. But it looks like
Uh,
now they've kind of taken it so that you can get some for $10.
yeah. Like some of them are like just I don't know. They weren't very selective in like creating these, so there's like a lot of commons
Hmm.
uh, that to my taste, it wasn't really worth much, and
So
I
let's
didn't
take a
really
look.
have much.
Yeah, so I mean, some of these are still going for a lot. Like the Vince Carter one, 11K.
Yeah, man, I would love to have a Vince Carter one, man.
So
My
when
favorite
when I
Raptor still.
when I first saw these, like I guess a lot of people they thought, okay, you can just go on the website, you can see what it is. Like, what's the point? Like, why would you need want to own this and pay eleven thousand
Mhm.
dollars for it? Did you have like, I mean, as someone who bought one of these, can you like share your thoughts on it?
I bought into it, more into it as a fan mindset.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I have my players that I like and whatever, but honestly, $11,000? Hell no. It's just
So,
I'm like kind of weird. Series
so
2.
the first time I heard about NFTs,
Mhm.
it was, well, at the time they weren't really um, called NFTs. They were it was like with the Crypto Kitties project back in 2017.
Crypto kitties. That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, so I mean these were just these like um should we let's take a look.
Like the picture of cats. Okay, yeah.
So Crypto Kitties.
Holy crap! How much are they?
So I remember coming to Crypto Kitties. This was like the first time I actually set up my the day that they launched was the
Okay.
day that I set up my MetaMask wallet, um,
Uh-huh. Oh.
thinking maybe I can purchase one, right? So then I talked to my wife. I was like, okay, um, ETH was like maybe $400 or something like that,
Okay.
200 bucks or $400. I can't remember, and they were going for um, 0.1 ETH.
Okay.
So I know I asked my wife, can I buy like a cat for 20 bucks? And she's like, she told me no. So I ended up not I listened to her. I have no idea how much these things are worth now.
I'm looking at the page, scroll down a bit. I see like some of them are still pretty cheap, like 0.07. Well, now that ETH is so expensive, yes, they're more expensive, but if you just talk about Ethereum wise, it's 0.07.
So I mean, did they show a floor price? Maybe on OpenSea there will be a floor price.
Oh, maybe.
So let's check it out. So OpenSea is this marketplace for NFTs.
And it's only in Ethereum, right?
I think they're on Polygon as well now.
Oh, okay.
So if we search Crypto Kitties,
There we go. Oh, never mind. They are expensive.
so but it doesn't show a floor price.
Wait a minute. Did you show your wife this?
Wait,
Like
this
the
is
first one there is 10,000 ETH. Holy crap.
yeah, but this doesn't seem like it's right because it's showing price low to high, but these are like 10K ETH, so that can't be right.
10K ETH. Holy. Imagine this is the exact one you bought. Holy
So
crap.
what if I do high to low? So whoa,
Oh, one
okay.
ETH. But still, that's freaking expensive.
No, 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 high to low. Look, these are like gajillion ETH. So let's see recently sold. We'll take a look. Okay, that's more like it. So
Okay, 0.0052.
kind
Oh,
of like they've held its value, but I don't really know. It all depends on um, like the
but
generation, right? So the whole point is you can own two crypto kitties and then they can breed and it's like a
oh, they
game.
can
So you,
breed?
yeah, you can breed them and make more crypto kitties and you can sell those one, right? So if you had like uh, a early generation one, then uh, you can potentially breed a lot more crypto kitties. Some like I can imagine if I had bought one, maybe it would have been like pretty good if I could if I could breed a lot of kitties and
Yeah,
sell
from
them for
2017 to now,
60 each.
I would assume you'll have like at least bred 10 of them. Holy.
So
So
that
I'm
was
just
my,
wondering though, like back then when you wanted to buy it, what made you want to buy? Because knowing you, there must have been a reason.
well, okay, so me now and me then were
Uh-huh.
completely different, right? Because
Oh.
back then, back then, a Bitcoin could easily have gone to zero. So
Mm.
I was a total degen back then, right? Like it was, I would be degen BTCBC because because you would only be throwing play money in,
Yeah.
and I wasn't even willing to buy a kitty for $20. So that tells you a lot. But I kind of wish I did, just because it's almost like part of history,
True.
right? I know it's not the first kind of NFT project.
Hmm.
Before this, there was the CryptoPunk project.
Yeah.
So now, if you got into CryptoPunks, then you would have just like hit the lottery, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's take a look. So we go to OpenSea and search CryptoPunks. Do you know what CryptoPunks are? I'm sure you've heard of these.
I've heard of them, but like, yeah, that's exactly what I was, what came to my mind. Like, it was just these pixelated faces that I honestly don't understand until now. Like,
But
why
look
are
at
they so
these.
expensive?
So 66 ETH, and these are like the recently sold ones. So these are like the what the current price is. What's 66 ETH?
I don't know, man.
That's
Like,
like 200K.
I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, who in their mind is buying this?
So there are 10 there it's saying 9999, but I thought
Hmm.
there were like 10,000 CryptoPunks. The whole
Mm.
project was just named after the cypherpunk movement.
Okay.
Basically, those are the OG Bitcoiners, and
Okay.
they actually gave these away for free.
Oh,
Yeah, anyone that had like an Ethereum wallet could just claim one for free. Can you imagine?
awesome.
And this was only a
Wow.
few months before CryptoKitties.
Oh, wow.
But I did not know about this project until much later.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, is there any NFT projects like you personally are looking at like right now?
No, I personally I don't know what I think about NFTs as
Mm.
an investment vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like some people they obviously, there's obviously a market for this and they're paying a lot of money for it.
Hmm.
Um, like any of these really popular NFT projects, they're kind of like out of my league, right? So
Mm.
it's not really something that's on my radar. And yeah, and that goes the same for all the projects that I think are more legit, right? Like you have this one, and you have the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Oh, yeah, that one was pretty crazy.
So that's it. Like Bored Apes are at what?
How much are they right now? Like there was so much controversy and
So,
drama,
oh my
and
goodness.
like,
So the floor price is
wow,
110K, and then the floor price. So what's like the recently sold
crazy,
ones?
crazy, man.
Wow, that's insane.
So expensive, man.
So like uh, CryptoPunks wasn't even the first NFT project. Did
Hmm.
you know that you can have NFTs on Bitcoin?
I did not know.
So I found this out much later because I had like an idea for certifying NFTs, and
Hmm.
maybe we'll get to that. But while I was researching for that idea, I came across the concept of a colored Bitcoin. So
Okay.
yeah, like not a lot of people know that you can have Bitcoin, which is fungible, but you can also have colored Bitcoin. that you basically put like a marker on any value of Bitcoin down to a Satoshi.
Okay.
So you can imagine if you can have a single Satoshi that has its own unique color, because I guess they use this word color just to uh, identify that it's like a unique, non-fungible unit of Bitcoin.
Hmm.
So then that thing can basically represent an NFT.
Is there something like that, like we can search at, like look at, like?
Um, I'm not too familiar, but I guess you can just Google colored Bitcoin and you can
Mm.
take a look to see what's out there. I'm not even sure like whether there were any projects that were built on
Huh?
using this, but it's just something that is I found interesting that there are these functionalities to Bitcoin that
Mm.
hasn't really taken off yet. The NFT market and Ethereum has really like kind of blown
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Like I'm just wondering though, like, what do you think is going on in the like NFT market? Like, is there a future that's most likely what you think is going to happen?
Uh, I'm very. I think there are a lot of issues with the NFT market.
Issues.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues.
Okay, I
So
would love to hear some.
there are both regulatory issues and
Mm.
actual like um, problems with how the NFT market is, like in my mind. So where do you want to
Okay.
start?
I tend to want to know like that what's wrong with the NFT itself, not the regulatory issues.
Okay, so with the NFTs themselves, um, a lot of people don't realize that when they're buying an NFT, they the image or video that is what they think is the NFT is not
Mhm.
really like part of the NFT itself.
Okay.
On the NFT, there's just a bunch of metadata. So like this information about what that thing is. And there's a
Okay.
link. It's basically a link that points to uh, that image or video that has to be hosted somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Right? So if you were an NFT creator, you could be hosting it yourself, or you could. I don't know if OpenSea hosts some NFTs. Like, to be honest, like
Hmm.
I haven't really bought a lot of these myself. I own a couple of NFTs, but
Hmm.
like I haven't bought anything directly from OpenSea. But I do know that if the link expires, or somebody changes the link, then
Hmm.
your NFT would change. Like you could have an NFT that you can see on your MetaMask wallet. If somebody switches the link, suddenly your NFT goes away,
Oh, okay.
right? So the solutions to this has to come in the form of like decentralized hosting of that data, right? So the
Okay.
video or the
Yeah.
Um, but ultimately, it's the responsibility of the buyer of the NFT to understand where that image is being stored,
Okay.
right? And because imagine if there was only like one copy of that data and then it
Hmm.
like gets lost. There goes your NFT.
Yeah. Like, is there anywhere you can, like, for example, if you're in OpenSea, like when you click onto one of the NFTs, do they tell you where like the link is stored or? Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it tells you when you click into these things. Let's see, contract address, token ID, metadata. Okay, well, let me show you guys what I'm looking at. So here, for
Hmm.
OpenSea, it says metadata here. This item's metadata was permanently locked and it's stored in decentralized file storage. So that could be
Okay.
something like Arweave or Filecoin, something like that. Have you heard of these?
Nope,
I
not at
don't
all.
know. I don't know what OpenSea uses as decentralized storage, but
Mm.
basically some form of like IPFS similar technology where that that file is going to be available and it's decentralized. But I don't know how decentralized these projects that are doing decentralized file storage actually are at the moment. But it's
Yeah.
good that so basically you have to check because this is not going to be standard for all NFTs.
Mm.
For something like a Bored Ape, it seems like it's they have decentralized
Like
storage, and
they're
this is
sophisticated enough to have something like
yeah.
this.
So that's something you should be looking out for.
Mm.
So the other thing with NFTs, it's kind of like goes back to the different usages of an NFT,
Yeah.
right? So like you said, like in your mind, an NFT is kind of like for artwork, but really it can be used for all sorts of stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like when I first heard of NFTs, it occurred to me that what would happen was real world assets would be tied to NFTs. So, for
Hmm.
example, you could have like luxury brands where they're selling
Yeah.
a handbag, and these days the replica handbags are made so real. Like I watched this documentary where even the manufacturers of those handbags sometimes have
Hmm.
difficulty telling up the fake from the real, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is like these luxury brands would just sell a handbag and it would come with an NFT.
Yeah.
So when you then go and resell your handbag, then as long as you have the NFT, then the good chances that that handbag is the authentic handbag. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a certificate of authenticity that you just can't
Yeah.
fake. And
Because
it
you can
doesn't
always
really,
look it up.
yeah, and it doesn't really matter if the handbag itself was faked because if you can't tell one from
Yeah.
apart from another, but if it had like some kind of serial number that matches the NFT and you traded
Mm.
that, then that's it's pretty hard to get around that. I think it will discourage a lot of uh, fake fakers out there.
Yeah. 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 Makes sense. See.
So
Yes.
yeah, just going back to like the different usages, what I've
Mhm.
noticed with the NFT market is that it's heading toward it's heading towards what ICOs used to be. Right. So an ICO is the initial coin offering, and
Mhm.
they were banned basically, and all like it's no longer a thing, right? ICOs
Yeah.
because the securities regulators kind of shut that down everywhere, and because these ICOs were being used, like tokens were being used to raise capital and basically replace uh, like the IPO and funding for companies. But
Yeah.
these days, what I see are people using NFTs to do a similar thing. So they would
Oh.
kind of sell an NFT, and that NFT would kind of have some equity-like rights to it, where uh,
Oh.
these people selling the NFT, they would go and create some kind of DAO,
Mm.
then go and make certain investments,
Yeah.
and and then they would uh, and some value would go back to the NFT holder.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I see a lot of those as clear securities.
Hmm.
So but there are a lot of projects that are doing similar kind of things.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know it was being used like that. Like apparently, like no matter what you do, they'll find another way to sort of raise capital.
So I mean, we looked at Bored Ape, right? So
Hmm.
Bored Ape Yacht Club when they launched, it was just these like you buy an NFT and um, you, you get this graphic, right? And that's
Hmm.
the NFT that you own. But Yuga Labs are have well, they basically allowed all the NFT holders to
Hmm.
claim a token, and um, that's the ape coin.
Oh,
And
that's what
then
I've been hearing about. Yeah.
so I think like the NFT holders formed a DAO, okay, they and they issued it this ape coin, um, something like that. And
Yeah.
now a lot of the projects that Yuga Labs is going to be investing in and developing are going to
Hmm.
make some use of this ape coin.
Mm.
So, uh, had they used this roadmap to sell their NFTs, that would have been a clear securities violation. But
Oh,
like in my mind, at least. But um, so the way that they are doing it now, it's kind of like, to me, it's some gray area that
yeah.
will will attract a lot of regulatory attention.
Mm. Interesting. Like I didn't know there was so much going on. I always thought it was, it's just artwork.
Yeah, like for the ones that I did buy, I did kind of, yeah, I kind of thought of it as the same thing. Like
Hmm.
when NFTs were first launched on Avalanche, I thought, okay, here's my chance to try to
Okay.
pick one that would take off. So
Yep.
there were two. I remember like when I bought, there were two projects that were launching that day. Like one was this like dog project that I ended up buying, okay, and then
Dog project.
and
Okay.
then this other one was like this tree project, which I ended up not buying, okay, because it was slightly more expensive, but only slightly. But then the tree project like went up 10x, and my dog
Oh.
project went to like basically nothing.
Oh no. Was there like any sort of utility tied with it back then?
No, so the tree project, I can't even remember what it's called. Is it called Avax trees or something like that?
Because like you telling me about crypto kitties, I didn't know they could breed. Like to me, that's some kind of utility, right?
So let me see. Yeah, this one. Okay, so these are the Avax trees. So like they every tree is unique, and
Okay.
based on like an algorithm, they look differently. Like they do cool things. So this one, wait, took off, and then I think and then I think it took a crash because um, the one of the founders of Avalanche, Emin
Uh-huh.
Gunsirer, I think I saw a tweet that he was like a thread that he was kind of explaining he wasn't kind of shilling this project because he just said that he bought one, and then people were saying like, "Oh, you bought
Oh.
one, but then it tanked" or something like that. But I still think this was pretty cool. Definitely ended up being the better choice compared to my dog
Mm,
NFT.
dang. Uh, I'm just wondering, how do people know if something? How do people speculate if something's gonna 10x or not? Because like in DeFi,
I
like
wish I
in the
knew.
degen projects, like in the degen projects I go in, it's like at least there's some kind of Ponzonomics, false hope that they give you, right? But when you're looking at NFTs, like it's literally just a picture.
So my dad asked me like
Mhm.
similar questions all the time, and um, he basically points to these young new artists, and they can sell an NFT and make
Mhm.
and raise a lot of money that way. Um,
Yeah.
and it really depends on the NFT because some NFTs these days they are like you they're almost like you could get a royalty from the artist themselves. So
Okay.
I don't know if that gets
Loyalty.
into any kind of uh, securities issue again, but uh, basically you can invest in these young artists, and if they are successful, they'll kick stuff back to you, right? So they might give you like their limited edition products, maybe early releases of music, or even like pure royalties off of the music that they create. You
Hmm.
know, if they launch their music and it's actually an NFT, they can distribute it to the
Mm.
NFT holders that you know purchase their NFTs.
Okay, so they're kind of using NFTs in a way of like what angel investors were
Yeah,
doing, right?
yeah.
Um,
So you can
okay, that
imagine
makes
like
sense.
traditionally a lot of these artists they don't have money themselves, so they can't like
Yeah,
market their content.
yeah,
So they would kind of sign over to a label, and now the label owns all of their original content. Uh,
yeah,
but with the NFT, kind of the whole selling point to artists was now they get to own, or their fan base gets to help support these artists. So in theory, it's like a really good thing.
yeah,
Um, but on the other hand, like you can have artists who are already established and they're just like launching an NFT collection and could
yeah,
have nothing to do with their music or whatever,
yeah,
but then people are still getting involved. And I think that's just because to me, the NFT itself has not much value. What it
hmm,
is who's behind the NFT, and
yeah.
right.
It
So
seems that way.
you're really just like betting on that person or that celebrity, and their fan base, how popular
Mm,
they are. So you know these celebrities, they could probably launch a um, like a CD, and
yeah,
and that would be worth a lot too. So
yeah. Like it seems like as long as you get famous, you can do anything.
yeah, no,
Dang, I didn't.
that's what I think.
Mm, yeah, like I don't have much that I'm looking at. Uh, I know there's a lot going on in the NFT space, but I was just always wondering, like, who are the buyers? Like, besides the ones that want to just make quick money and flip it, like who actually appreciates the art and actually buys an NFT? Like, to me, it just seems really. It seems like a very rare situation that somebody would be like, "Oh, look at this piece of art! I'm going to buy it."
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's like it's digital art, and
Mm-hmm.
you have people who would like to buy physical art, and then you're gonna have people who want to buy digital art. And you're gonna
Yeah.
have artists that want to create on the digital, the NFT platform. And I think ultimately that's a good thing. You know, it's just a different
Yeah.
way of doing things. You know, it's not going to be for everyone, and it's not for me. It's maybe not for you, but definitely, I think there is a thriving market out there.
I'm trying to convince myself that I kind of that I might like this stuff. I just can't find it.
Well, I mean, like you you have to have a good eye for these things, right? Like you're not going to go to an art gallery and just expect to buy any painting
Yeah.
and think it's gonna 10x, right? I think it's the same, but NFTs there really are a lot more different kind of use cases for NFTs. So
Hmm.
you have NFTs that represent a piece of virtual land in the metaverse,
Yeah.
okay? So that I think is um, up there,
Hmm.
um, on the more creative uses of NFTs. Because
Hmm.
then with with the digital ownership of that digital land, you can charge digital rent, you can build
Yeah.
stuff on your NFT. Like if you can like on Sandbox, you can even create your own NFT voxel characters.
Mm. Did you end up buying any of those lands?
No, because like really they when I first looked into it, I was looking into Decentraland land,
Hmm.
and I did spend a couple days looking into it, but by the time I um, wanted to get it, like the price was shooting up again, and then like
Ah,
that's always the problem.
okay. No, that's cool. I just never even seriously looked into any NFTs.
Have you gone into like one of those metaverses and looked
I
around?
know. No, I haven't even gone
All
in.
right, you should try, and then maybe we can do a video on metaverses.
Really?
Uh,
Which one do you recommend I try looking into first?
just do all like the big ones, right? The Decentraland and Sandbox, those kind of things. And I think does DeFi Kingdoms count? I don't
DeFi Kingdoms? To me, that's degen project. That's not an
I don't know.
NFT.
I haven't looked into it myself, but we will, and one of these days we'll talk about it.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, so I mean
I'm not in it yet, so
that's pretty much it for NFTs. I think like
yeah.
uh, if you guys have any interesting NFT projects that you're involved in, or
Oh,
if you want us to kind of check out, please kind of leave a comment. And
yeah. Let us know. I'm trying to convince myself to get into NFTs. So if anybody out there wants to suggest something, let me know. I'll definitely look into it.
yeah, I mean, I have the ones I'm involved in really. I had a friend who was involved in starting a project. Just give them a plug, Hero Babies Club,
Hero
and
Babies Club.
yeah, you
Okay.
want to check it out. So um,
Hero Babies Club. Yep, found it. Found it. Found it. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay.
yeah, so this is they're pretty cool. You can I think the concept is you can just get one and um, then they have a treasury that will buy metaverse land or other crypto, and then
Okay.
you can also like redeem actual physical items that they have like redemptions every once in a while, and then
Oh,
because with your NFT they give you these time tokens, and then using the time tokens you can go and it's like almost an auction system where or it's like first come first serve every single time it's different on how to redeem, and they've had the redemptions for like Oculuses and iPads and like Apple gift cards,
oh.
so check it out.
Okay. Let me take a look. Interesting. Hero Babies.
Yeah. And otherwise that's it for us this week.
Yeah. It's just a bit too quiet out there, I find. Too quiet.
Well, hopefully things will heat up in the next week. um
Yeah,
and
hopefully, like for me, a telling of if we're in like a quiet market or not is that you see these influencers, they're talking about the same stuff. They're trying to dig out like old stuff and talk about it again. Then you know there's nothing new.
well, just gives us a chance to catch up.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, until next week,
Until
take
next
care
week, guys.
guys, have a good
Have
weekend.
a great weekend.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.